Okwama case again in Delta State. Army invades another Delta community, arrests 10 persons, raze houses and homes. Can you imagine? So this issue of investigation into the Okwama incident is still on, and Nigerians have been calling out the military that their action is becoming something else. Okay, so now they are, even while the army investigation is still ongoing, they have gone now to invade another community. How long will this continue to be? Oh, wow. So now there are several points here people have called out the military on. And the one is that they should disband the army probe, institute judicial inquiry, sans retired judges tell federal government. So that is exactly what retired judges and sans are telling federal government: disband the military probe and institute judicial inquiry. Alternatively, direct Delta government to set up a judicial commission of inquiry. Okay, and they also faulted the chief of defense staff and his claim that JTF has a police component to investigate murder. Can you imagine? Meanwhile, they are taking military actions without the police in them. So if they have the police component, why are they now going to raid other communities, burning houses, arresting people? Allow villagers to retrieve the corpses of their dead. Exactly. You've killed a lot of their own people, but now they don't have access to their people's dead bodies. Why? How can that continue to be? And the federal government should order military to vacate community, hand over suspects to police. Time to call military to order, Urubu Renaissance Society also called. So this is actually very, very bad. Military is taking laws into their hands and behaving like we're in a military regime when we're actually not. That is it. Troops of the Nigerian Army conducting a cordon and search operation over the March 14 killing of 17 military personnel at Okwama in Kìĺĺèrs local government area of Delta State. They yesterday invaded another community, Olota, and allegedly whisked away no fewer than 10 persons. This came on a day that senior advocates of Nigeria, SANS, and retired judges ripped apart the board of inquiry constituted by the defense headquarters to investigate the March 14 killing of the military personnel at Okwama in Kìĺḷèrs local government area of Delta State, saying it had no powers to do so. Exactly. But Vanguard could not reach Prosper Evarere, the President General of Olota, but an eyewitness said the military men left with the community's chairman, Matthew Olokpa, and over 10 others. He said the over 200 soldiers entered Olota, can you imagine, in 3 gunboats this morning, that was yesterday, and they held the chairman, Matthew Olokpa, Biggie Ejekwewu, German Obiokute, Kenneth Okorodudu, Atwa, and others. So the witness disclosed that the soldiers raised some houses in the community 50 kilometers from Okwama and took with them almost all the speedboats they sighted in the jetty. Gunshots roared in Olota today. Okay, in Olota, we asked those in authority to intervene and tell the soldiers to leave Olota in peace. They left with those apprehended, no fewer than 10 persons. They burnt German's house and 2 others and destroyed one. They also left with many speedboats at the jetty belonging to residents. They beat the community chairman to a stupor before they moved him with the others along with 75 engine-powered boat belonging to Kenneth. This latest crisis may not be connected with Okwama. Recall that the army had visited the same community and others, including Arawarian, Orere, and Omosomo more than a week ago, searching for arms and ammunition snatched from the dead soldiers and fleeing suspects. So meanwhile, senior advocates of Nigeria, senators, and retired judges have ripped apart the board of inquiry constituted by Defense Headquarters to investigate the March 14th killing of the personnel, so military personnel at Okwama. They told the federal government that the correct thing to do was to institute a judicial commission of inquiry into the incident or ask Delta state government to set up one. The military panel, headed by Air Vice Marshal David Ajayi, started sitting Wednesday in Warri. However, Okwama community, though whose leaders and lawyers said the displaced residents were hiding and suffering in the forest because of the cordon and search operation by the army, rebuffed the hearing. But 6 representatives of Okoloba community in Bomadi local government area, whose boundary dispute with Okwama triggered the tragic episode, appeared before the Ajayi-led board of inquiry on Wednesday afternoon, while officials prevented reporters from covering the proceedings. Can you imagine? Speaking to Vanguard, Olorogun Albert Akpomuje, son, and life bencher, former Attorney General of Akwa Ibom State, Wemedimo Nwoko, son, and retired president of the Delta State Area Customary Court, Meakpo Emiaso, said the Chief of Defense Staff did not have the power to set up a public inquiry into Okwama incident. Now, wow. So, Layiwola Afolabi's son and Chief Magistrate E.O. Eferakoro, retired, advised the federal government to order the army to vacate. Army can set up a public inquiry, Akpomuje's son said. So Akpomuje, the Otota Prime Minister of the ancient Olomo Kingdom in Delta State, said in his reaction, a public inquiry will mean that members of the public will have access to go and say their mind because it is an inquiry. Is that what they have set up? The Chief of Defense Staff does not have those powers. It is unknown that an internal inquiry within the army cannot be open to the public. Maybe he can do that just to ascertain some facts. However, an inquiry that will touch on how the whole scenario of the killings in Okwama happened is not a matter for the army to do. We are asking the federal government to set up that inquiry. If not the federal government, then Delta State government should do that. Now, on the issue of whether the army has powers to do investigation, well, with the greatest respect, what investigation? Is the military going to investigate itself? That is the question. Because it's involving the military, so why is the military doing it? That is why it is said that you cannot be a judge in your matter. They should leave that to either the federal or the state government to do. Now, when it comes to investigation, it is the police that will do it, independent of the component of the police force in the joint task force. So JTF, he is talking about a combined team of several security outfits and does not have the jurisdiction and power to conduct the investigation. Army, a concerned party, can't institute inquiry. Moko-san. They don't give them this thing, woto. That is it. They can't do it by themselves. Independent bodies should conduct probe. Emiaso, ex-president customary court, says. Okay, the military should hand suspects to police. Afolabi San says. Villagers should recover corpses of their dead. Chief Magistrate Eferakoro, retired, said. Okay, and then time to call military to order, Urobo Renaissance Society also said. So those are the issues here, and I tell you that obviously what they are doing at Okwama and what they are going to do at Olota is unheard of and it's unacceptable. To say the truth, it's obviously unacceptable. Okay, and somebody saying foolish, untrained, and coward army that loves killing unarmed bloody civilians. Why not fight your match in Sambisa? By the way, I don't even know if, can you imagine, somebody has gone to somewhere there. And somebody said this is about bunkering, nothing else. Anyway, cowards on rampage. Shame on the Nigerian soldiers of today. Not be lie. I am still imagining the kind of soldiers we have that only have powers to attack civilians all the time. Very shameful that Nigerian soldiers are always in confrontation with people they are meant to protect. All these are as a result of unprofessional and illegal deals. May God save Nigeria. Seems this country is doomed. Another person say caution should be applied as not to cause another crisis. That is it. And this is about bunkering, nothing else. It's really about bunkering. It's not a lie. It's a very bad situation. So somebody says, Shebi, they denied raising houses before. Why this one again now? That is it. That is it. So what the military has got to do at the Olota community is unacceptable, and the federal government should do something about it. So thank you for listening, and let's have a comment.